What is up, guys? Coop here, and today I actually have a special video. So, World of Warcraft has pretty much been going steadily now for a hot while, and Legion is now officially over. We're all waiting for Battle for Azeroth, and we're kind of sitting here, and I can't lie, a lot of us are probably bored. I mean, look at Dalaran right now. It's kind of dying off. I mean, I'm on a low pop server, but in general, we're kind of running out of things to do. Maybe you've already beat Mythic Argus, or you've already kind of gotten to the cap where you're pretty much happy. So what are some other incentives and other things that you can do within the game? So I made 5 sort of things you can do within World of Warcraft to at least not be bored. Now, obviously, most people's lists include like leveling, gear collecting, all this random stuff. I wanted to go a little bit above and beyond. I wanted to really put my thinking cap on and give you guys 5 unique things that you guys can do within the World of Warcraft to give you something to do while you are subbed. Because obviously you pay $15 a month for this game, so you really honestly want to utilize as much time as possible and not just waste your money. And I feel you, it makes more sense, and maybe you just don't want to unsub. So today I'm going to actually show you guys 5 different things that you can do within the World of Warcraft that is pretty fun and out there and just something for you to do so you're not so bored when playing the game. Number 1 has to go to pet battling. Pet battling is basically Pokemon within World of Warcraft. It's just such a nice system. It has so many variety of pets, so many things you can do. They all have unique spells. There's different types of pets that cost more. There's different builds that are better. There's so much uniqueness to the pet battling sort of mini game that it's kind of its own animal. And there's so many different like trainers and things that you can do. There's so many different missions out there. They even have like different kind of almost like elite sort of championships you can go to. The Darkmoon Fair has a variety. I think it has 2 or 3 different bosses that you can do. So there's so much to do with the whole pet battling sort of mini game that it's honestly one of the things that you can really do to kind of spend your time in. You can get yourself some different stones, get yourself some unique pets, you know, some cool things to take along with you. Like I have my little skybow here, and it's just kind of cool to have like this little mini like sort of reaver that follows me around. And there's some other really cool pets along the way. There's some rare spawn ones that you can capture. I know some of the Valkyr. I think there's some Valkyr that spawn. I can't remember the actual name, but there's like some different rare pets out there that are really cool, and you can honestly get into some deep trading and trying to get some of those rare mounts and or rare sort of pets and everything. And not to mention, you can always kind of go over to this nice little button here and actually find battles. A lot of people don't know about this, so you don't actually have to go out into the world and constantly fight, you know, revive your pets, you know, rinse, repeat. Once you really start to get really into it, you have a lot more fun, and you can get a lot of really cool rewards along the way. So, highly recommend. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is RP, and I know what you're thinking. A lot of you people out there are probably like not RPers or anything, but honestly guys, I cannot lie. Sometimes going to Moonguard with some of your friends, even if you don't roleplay, is super funny, and some of the stories I have within like the Goldshire Inn and all these crazy things that I've done, it's just it makes me laugh every single time I go in there. I mean, you can't even make up some of the stuff that you see within there. And there's like a really avid community there. There's always role playing going on. And say like I want to get like a taste of what this craziness is about, which I was very curious about at one point. You just gotta type in RP here, and then you'll have all types of crazy RP. Like you have apparently Rugrats Pickles thing. Like it just sounds crazy just even hearing about it. RP walking to Undercity. You got tribal RP. And some of the really cool ones to get into is the Darkshire sort of, or I think it's Duskwood. Yeah, Duskwood RP is really cool because it's like a murder investigation thing, and they all separate into their different roles, and they all do like really weird things that are kind of cool in an RP sense. So if you're into RP, I highly suggest it. If you're not into RP, it's even more fun just to sit back and kind of laugh at all the crazy things, because you're always going to find something crazy when it comes to the RP community, and it's honestly one of the best communities out there just because they just all have hearts of gold, and it's so funny just to look back and see some of the things that you see there. The next thing I've got to talk about is starting PvP events such as raiding cities and low-level ganking. And I know you're thinking, why would you want to do that? Well, first things first, if you actually raid all the Horde or Alliance capitals, you do get a reward of a bear, which is this mount right here. It hasn't aged that well, but it's still a unique mount nonetheless, and it just looks so cool. It looks really cool with my Worgen armor, kind of like the dark and the blues all kind of go really well with it. But also one of the things I wanted to mention is with low level ganking, you really want to start doing it now because it's probably going to be going away with war mode. They haven't really confirmed it for the low level zones, but you're not going to be able to do low level ganking that much longer. And I know it's kind of a sort of quote unquote dick move, but it is something that it might be going away in the future. Also, one of the things that's really cool, and some of the best stories I've ever had, is when, you know, you go and you kill a low-level character, and you keep killing them, and then they bring over their high-level buddy, and then you and that high-level buddy fight, and then eventually they bring in more people, and then you bring in your guild, and then it just turns into a giant battle royale of everybody just fighting each other in those certain zones, and it's just really kind of fun. I would highly suggest going to places like the Barrens, or any of the, like, sort of the mid-level zones. So I know, like, the Barrens is always really nice, like north and south. Try to avoid bigger places like Orgrimmar because they usually have high-level guards, and there's usually, you know, a big capital city so they can fly right to the south. But going to places like sort of the Barrens or Mulgar and like kind of going and killing people on the outskirts is a lot of fun. Now you got to keep in mind they do have to be tagged for PvP, so your PvP has to be enabled for that to happen. But it is just in general really fun, and not to mention with sort of a war mode happening, I'm not too sure how much longer we will be able to do the low level ganking and sort of having that little fun of just walking up to a level 1 and just smoking them in one hit. So a little bit of a chuckle and laugh there, but I think it's pretty fun in general. Alright, so the next challenge sounds a little outlandish, but bear with me here. It is called the Naked Run, otherwise known as the No Armor Run Challenge. So these are challenges that I basically have made where you basically have to scale from one place to another without taking any damage and avoiding all the mechanics around you. One of my favorites and one of my first videos I ever made was Mount Everest and climbing it. There's also a really good one for the higher level characters of using good old Antoran Waste and kind of using the Hope's Landing Pad and walking all the way to the entrance of Taurus the Burning Throne and trying to get there without taking too much damage or dying. These challenges are really tough, and the reason for that is obviously, well, you're not going to die except for maybe in the Antorus one, but there's different areas in the game where they have a lot of really cool mechanics and things kind of going on. So within this one, you're just kind of scaling the mountain, but eventually it does get a little harder. You learn to use things like your speed boost and everything, and then you get to this part where you have to learn to dodge all the different things around you and try to walk around. The second you take damage, you have to restart. So as you can see here, I'm kind of scaling the mountain. I'm learning to dodge certain mechanics. So this gets me kind of turned up and knowing how to raid. Now when I do things like the Antorus area, I have to learn how to use my defensive cooldown. So like if I'm taking lava damage, I need to use like anti-magic shell. If I'm starting to get attacked by enemies, I learn to use Icebound Fortitude. It teaches you a lot of different things. So like for this one, I'm trying to avoid taking any damage whatsoever, and I'm trying to avoid all the different whirlwinds and things like that. So like right there I almost lost, and right there I did lose. So I'd have to restart and try over and over again until I eventually pass it. It's one of those ones, it sounds really dumb. I know, you're probably thinking like, wow, this is kind of a waste of time. But it does actually teach you a little bit of mechanics, and it's something to do completely when you are completely bored with the game. And it's a fun little challenge because when you reach that peak after sort of dodging all these things, even though you're 110, it's just like, it feels good knowing that like, hey, I actually went out of my way and dodged it with normal base speed and managed to, you know, follow mechanics. It gives you a little bit of an edge, it gives you something to do. It's great to do for DPS while you're waiting in Raid Finder. It's a lot of different little things here that can really just kind of pass the time, especially going forward. Alright, so this last one, this one took me a little bit of effort to actually think about because I wanted there to be 5 sort of tasks altogether, and this last one, it took me a little bit of time, but I figured it out. And you know, you're probably already a master pet battler, you've probably done all the roleplay, you've probably ganked all the noobs, and you've probably ran around in your armor for so long that most people think that you actually don't know how to put on gear. So now comes to the point where you are so bored you absolutely need something to do. And one of the biggest things that people always do is they always just kind of run around Dalaran, and they kind of just do laps around it, and laps and laps and laps. And it's been known as kind of like a thing that in World of Warcraft, when you're completely bored, you just kind of do laps around the city. So one of the biggest things is, why not just time yourself? So actually start timing how long it takes you to go around here. So do like 3 laps around. So for example, I'm just going to keep walking around, and then I can try to see how long it takes me to do a full lap around the city. You can start to learn different ways and different shortcuts on how to get there a little bit quicker. You can start to learn different little tactics of just how you can beat your friends with racing and everything. So for example, this time I made it in 28 seconds, but let's say the next time I try to see if I can beat it a little bit faster. It's something for people who are absolutely bored of the game to the point where they have to figure out something else to do. So I think it's one of the best ways to do it, because it gives you at least something else to do while you're running around in circles around Dalaran. So as you can see here, I don't think I'm going to actually make my time, or maybe I will. Ooh, let's see. Hey, we made it in 27 seconds. And then you can start to figure out like the average of how long it takes you to make a lap around Dalaran. And then you could just talk to your friends and be like, yeah, you know, did you know, fun fact, that the average time it takes to walk around Dalaran is 28 seconds? I don't know, it's just something a little stupid and fun for you to do while being bored on WoW. And it's just something for the ultimate person who just is so bored with the game they have to find something small to do. So anyways guys, that is my list of things to do while bored on WoW. This is 5 items that I thought were really awesome to do, and just something in general that gives you something else to do in World of Warcraft besides all the combat and things. So, you know, say you're a maxed out PvP or a maxed out raider, it gives you something else to enjoy with the game besides just all of that jazz. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this list. I did have to go a little bit outside of the box. I don't expect this video to get many views, but who knows, maybe I will, because, you know, it's kind of the ending of the expansion and all. But I do appreciate all the people that did take the time to watch it. Be sure to subscribe, because I have a variety of different content. You guys are all welcome to check that out as well. So click that little subscribe button, click that like button, leave a comment. Hey, leave something else that you do that is fun while being bored on WoW. I'm actually very curious. Maybe we can continue this and make it like a part 2. So be sure to check out videos in the future. Also be sure to check out my latest merch that is now selling as well. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.